Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, guys. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. It's a Thursday. Regan, it's not Friday. You're right. That's because I've got plans Friday evening, so there will be no live stream Friday evening. I'm afraid, guys. But don't worry. We're going to be covering more of the Yanks today with a Snowflake on America episode 5 here. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1 on the 10th of April 2025 at 8 PM UK time. I would like to first of all apologise to anyone now in advance, anyone who's watching from the Twitch chat. I will not be able to see your comments. I sincerely apologise. I will explain in a moment. But I've had a very, very bad day. But I would rather explain it more tomorrow morning on the Good Morning Reganelite and rant there. But I'll share some of it with you guys in a bit. Jao, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Alex, Adam, good to see you there as well. Hope you both of you guys are doing well. I'm gonna put this bluntly. Basically, I had to shed out a shit ton of money today. Because of my phone. I have been forced to get a brand new phone today because my old phone has some drawbacks to it, and I'm essentially, pretty much fucked. I had a decent amount of money set aside this month for plans, and now I'm like, what do I do? So yeah, my day has been pretty shit, really, really shit. And as you guys know, I'm still battling this cough. Don't know how I'm going to get through today again, because it's always a challenge doing these live streams when you have not just a chesty cough but also mucus building up here that you're trying to clear as well. So I have that to deal with as well. So it's there's a lot of shit has been hitting me today, and I'm not happy. I'm really in a bad mood because of what I had to do today to get a new phone. But I will explain that story tomorrow morning. So please join me tomorrow at 8 AM for my rant on this, of how I basically spended a huge amount of money when I shouldn't have had to. But unfortunately, these things do happen. So the reason why I can't see the Twitch chat is because I only have one working device right now, because my new phone is essentially unavailable at the moment because it is still transferring all my old data from my old phone over. So, and it's been doing that for the last 3.5 hours, and it's still doing that. So there's a good chance that it will be still doing that all goddamn night. So I can only see one chat. I had to choose one chat, and I had to pick the YouTube chat because it's more active. Because so for those on Twitch, I'm sorry, but you guys can watch. But if you want to comment, come into the YouTube chat and talk there. Right. So we've got 6 stories to cover here, guys. But obviously, like I said, I did want to get some clips for you guys. Why have I not got them up? It's because I've been running around like a headless chicken again. I thought, and Daily Blase calls me the organised one. He's having a laugh, isn't he? Me, organised. You got to be crazy if you think I'm organised, guys. I am not organised. Because I thought I had... yes, I have the articles, but I wanted to... I wanted to share 1 or 2 clips. We're not going to do all the clips, but I wanted to share 1 or 2 clips with you guys. Because despite everything is bad, and it's bad right now, it's bad, there is some good news. Some of the so-called billionaires and tech companies did not have a very good day, which I guess we should be happy about. Because these guys scam the world. So, Trump supporting CEOs have seen their company lose a staggering $1.8 trillion. Yay! Can we celebrate that? Can we? Are we allowed to celebrate that? Are we allowed to say, yay, that these guys have all these people with these massive companies that have billions and billions and billions of dollars and have lost it all? Can we celebrate that? Are we allowed to? Yes, because they make our lives, because they hoard the markets. So yes, they can. Elon Musk personally donated $290 million to Trump campaign and has since lost $107 billion in net worth. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Yeah, I would love to see by the end of the Trump, like if we in 4 years' time, we get to a point where Elon Musk has personally lost more, lose more than that. Like I want to lose more than that. So that 290 million that he personally donated to Trump campaign, whoosh, gone, kablamo. Oh, stop shouting, Regan. You're gonna kill your voice again. Wait, there we go. I'm playing. I'm trying to multitask here, guys. I'm gonna do a terrible job. That's a 36.99% loss in his investment. So maybe now he knows how it feels to be. So let's have a little listen then, shall we, guys?
At least in these first 3 months of his presidency, these companies, in the case of Meta, has lost tens of billions of dollars since the start of this year in market value. In the case of the others, it's hundreds of billions of dollars in market value so far. And that has a lot to do with the uncertainty around these tariffs. And the loss in share price and value has also affected many of these guys' personal net worths, none more so than Elon Musk, who donated at least $290 million to Trump's campaign. He has now lost $107 billion with a B.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love this. I do love this so much because he has hurt himself so much by what he has done. I just wonder if ever shit will ever hit the fan for him, realizing that he has lost so much money on that. It's absolutely crazy. As the kid, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And anybody else lurking in the chats. But yes, $107 billion of net worth year to date has gone. Yeah, brilliant. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Just one or two clips I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if I'm going to cover all the articles because obviously my voice, but I wanted to share a couple ones here. So Desmond Larchman, an American Entrepreneur Institute, he said, when we got the dislocation to the bond markets, so Trump did what Liz Truss did and made a spectacular U-turn.
Desmond Lachman is a former deputy director of the International Monetary Fund and Wall Street strategist, now with the American Enterprise Institute in Washington, and he predicted the markets would eventually force President Trump to back down.
That is really what has occurred. Whatever the Treasury Secretary might say to the contrary, it's clear that Trump was responding first to the stock market rout. We had a tremendous stock market rout. Everybody was upset to see the retirement accounts drop by something like 20% in a short space of time. But then when we got the dislocation in the bond market, that really was signaling that a financial crisis could be brewing. So Trump really did what Liz Truss did before him, had to make a spectacular U-turn and really back off his tariff policy in order to get things calm. It's very much like James Carville once said, that's Bill Clinton's political advisor, that if there was to be reincarnation, he wanted to come back as the bond market because then you could tell people what to do. And that's really what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it was absolutely bonkers. Just bonkers, guys. Here's a question for you guys. Do you think there was stock market manipulation? Well, AOC thinks so. I'm going to show you a clip that pretty much confirms it.
About market manipulation on the back of Donald Trump's tariff.
Absolutely. I have many questions. I'm very curious as to some of the discussions that were happening at the NRCC dinner, the Trump speech the night before this tariff announcement. I'm very interested in the May 15th disclosure deadline for members of Congress and what members of Congress, Republican or Democrat, were trading the day before and the morning of the tariff announcement. And I'm very interested in tracking some of the communications and who was communicating with whom in the 48 hours preceding.
What should the next step be, do you think?
Pardon?
What should the next step be, do you think?
Well, there are a couple of next steps. The most obvious and clear next step, I believe, is moving to the floor the insider trading ban for members of Congress. Now, of course, that is challenging to do when many of the people who would be subject to that.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, no. Marjorie Taylor Greene is totally against that. The Republicans are totally against such an idea. Why would they do such a thing like that, guys? Good morning, Steve McMahon. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Yeah, they're not going to do that. I mean, to protect American democracy, but there's no such thing as American democracy now. Where is that clip? Oh, don't tell me I've got it here. Hold on a second. Where is the clip? I need to show you the clip relating to it. Remember, yeah? No insider trading, yeah? They said there's no insider trading, yeah? Listen to this, yeah? It's short, but you only need to listen to the 6 seconds.
And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made 900 million. That's not bad, 'cause, you know, he's. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made 900 million. That's not bad, 'cause, you know,
he made 200 billion, and he made 900 million. Yeah. Oh, did he? He 2.5 million, and then he made 900 million. That's not bad. Definitely not insider trading, guys. Definitely not insider trading. Definitely not. Definitely not. So let's go to some of the news, guys. I may come back to one or two clips if I'm really struggling with my voice today. So the first one here is from the Associated Press. Context, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Oh, God damn it. I hate when mucus starts building up as I'm talking in my throat. It drives me insane. China reaches out to others as Trump layers on the tariffs. You know, if Trump really wanted to make the tariffs a success, what he really should have done is united the world against China. And what's actually happening is that people are rallying with China against America. That's what's happened here. That would have made more logical sense. But obviously, imposing still a 10% tariff on everyone still is still hurting everyone in some way, shape, or form. I should point out as well, for those who are curious, because obviously I know you guys are very concerned about Pingu and about McDonald's Island. I would say that the president of McDonald's Island was speaking to Donald Trump today, and according to Pingu, because he's our insider source, of course. According to Pingu, basically Trump wanted to cut the prices of the fish that they get there and bring them to the United States, which he said, which is obviously outrageous because they already, they need to feed their own families and they want to send more fish from McDonald's Island to them. So, understandably so, the Penguins are not happy, trying to undercut them and what they're doing to feed their own families, just to put more fish in the US market. It's just absolutely infuriating. So, Pingu's he'll be spending. Tomorrow he'll be traveling to Moscow. He will meet President Putin, and we'll be discussing with him and with other BRIC members. Be speaking about what actions that they will be taking in that, guys. So yeah, that's the story with McDonald's Island and Pingu right now. He is here, but yeah, he'll be spending a couple of days on business trips or government business for Antarctica, McDonald's Island, and the people of penguins all around the world there. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Raw Lou, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Wee Bud, good to see you there, sir. That's why Orange is not jail is beyond the words. That's true. Good evening, Dave McGuinness. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Guys, make sure you check out the 2 Davies show. I've had a shit day today, which is why I've not been able to. If you guys make the tomorrow mornings, if you make the live stream tomorrow morning, I'll tell you all about how I got screwed really badly out of my phone today. So it was a really, really shit story. I will tell you guys about it tomorrow morning on the Good Morning Show. Simon says 55, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. If someone could put a link to Dave McGuinness and the 2 Davies YouTube channel, please do that. It would be greatly appreciated. The EU announced a package of 1 million canned sardines to help the penguins. Portugal is sending 250,000 cans since we are the biggest producers of the stuff. Well, that's news to us. Pingu will no doubt will be very pleased to have heard that. I'm sure he will be speaking to fellow government officials on that matter. But obviously, there are some things I can't talk about with regards to. There are some things that I can't talk about because they're classified. But I have been, I may or may not have been accidentally added to certain Signal chats that I can't discuss either, guys. So China is reaching out to other nations as the US layers on more tariffs in what appears to be an attempt to form a united front to compel Washington to retreat days into the effect. Its meeting is only a partial success, with many countries unwilling to ally with the main target of the President Trump's trade war. So facing the catering of global markets, Trump on Wednesday backed off his tariffs on most nations for 90 days, saying countries will line up to negotiate more favourable conditions. China has refused to seek talks, saying it would fight to the end in the tariff war because China can handle this, and they have plans. They've had modelling plans to be able to prepare for this situation as well, prompting Trump to further jack up the tax rate of Chinese imports to 125. China has retaliated with tariffs on US goods at 84%, which took effect on Thursday. Trump's move was seamlessly an attempt to narrow what has been an unprecedented trade war between the US and the world's and most of the world to the showdown between the US and China. A just cause received support from many foreign ministry spokesperson Ling Jing said at a daily briefing on Thursday, the US cannot win the support of the people and will end in failure. Yeah, they can't win. And this is why Trump backed down on the initial tariffs, because the markets were screaming at him. And in the next couple of weeks, not right away, but over time, you will see Americans getting frustrated, getting angry about the cost of living going up for them. It's going to go up for them. Everything's going to go up. The cost of businesses in America is going to go up. But it's not, some of it's going to be hit now, but some of it is going to be in the next couple of days or weeks, months. That's because the damage has already been done. So it's not a case of there's going to be mass protest tomorrow sort of thing. It's going to be gradual. Americans are going to gradually start seeing it. Because you also have to bear in mind, and this is important, I think we spoke about it yesterday as well. There was that story of I don't know if I covered it here or someone else mentioned it to me about 5 plane loads of Apple phones came in before Trump implemented the first initial tariffs on China. So some American companies, some will already have parts already in place. Some parts already in the country already. Some will already have some stockpiles of things. So some businesses won't be hit straight away because they'll have some stockpiles. But what will eventually happen is, well, you're going to have to start buying them. And then it means the businesses are going to have to pay more, which means those businesses are going to therefore pass it on to the consumer. Because at the end of the day, the consumer are the ones who had to always take the hit, because nobody wants to eat into their own profits. But also, like we covered yesterday, small businesses could go bust as a result of all this as well. China has thus far focused on Europe with a phone call between Premier Li Qiang, I mispronounced that word, Li Qiang, I hope I said that right, and the European Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen, sending a positive message to the outside world. Yeah, they've had some conversations. I saw one tweet today. They're looking to reduce tariffs between the two sides on one or two things. I saw on Twitter, so which is good signs between the European Union and China, and it makes sense for them to try and reduce tariff barriers between the two, because it benefits China and it benefits the EU in doing so. Excuse me. Jane Wallace, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Stephen Banker as well. If I didn't say hello, hope you're doing well. Wee Scott's dog, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah. So this graphic here is obviously the top 10 US imports from China. You can see mobile phones, obviously 64.1 billion. Computers, electronics, 50 billion. Electronics and industry equipment, 46.2 billion. Toys, games, and sporting goods, 30 billion. Clothing and textures, 20 billion. Car parts, 15 billion. Household appliances, 14. Telecommunications equipment, 13 billion. Furniture and household goods, 12 billion. And cookware, cutlery and tools, 10 billion there. But my God, 64.1 billion mobile phones. And I had a bad day on my mobile phone because I can't use my one right now. Richard Grumpy Git, good to see you. Hope you are doing well. China is willing to work with the EU to jointly implement the important consensus reaching by the leaders of China and the EU, strengthen communications and exchanges, and deepening China-EU trade, investment and industry cooperation, the official Xinhua news agency have reported. That was followed by a video conference between the Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Weito and EU Commissioner for Trade and Economic Security Marko Stekovic on Tuesday to discuss the US reciprocal tariffs. Again, this is another good sign to see the working together here in this situation. Wang said the tariffs seriously infringe upon the legitimacy interests of all countries, seriously violating WTO rules, seriously damaging the rules-based multilateral trading system, and seriously impact the stability of the global economic order, he said. This is a typical act of utilitarianism. Put your words in your mouth, Regan. I'm trying. Protectionism and economic bullying, Wang was quoted as saying. And these are the top 10 exports to China. So you got the US ones there. So soybeans, aircraft and parts, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, industrial machines, crude oil, liquid natural gas, plastic materials, cars, news and used and mechanical equipment there. I mean, you can see the most thing that we export is that the Americans export more than anything is soybeans there, aircraft and parts there, semiconductors as well. So you see that, and then you look at that one. Yeah, who's going to benefit more from this? Who's going to get hurt more from this? China is willing to resolve differences through consultation and negotiation, but if the US insists in its own way, China will fight to the end, Wang said. By the way, China has, as far as from what most people have been saying online and what most media outlets are saying, China has not had a conversation with America on the situation. There may have been background communications, but there's no direct communications like from both governments to like, it's not like China has picked up the phone and spoken to America on this, and America doesn't seem to be wanting to pick up the phone and call them because it'll be seen to Trump as a sign of weakness. He's expecting China to call them. As far as I'm aware, China have not made any attempts to contact Washington over this. Wang has also spoken with 10 members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, while Leader Premier has met with business leaders. China has already made a full evaluation and is prepared to deal with all kinds of uncertainties and will introduce intra-sentimental policies across the needs of the situation. Xinhua quoted Li as saying. In Hong Kong, the spokesperson for the local office of China's foreign ministry reiterated Beijing's unwillingness to negotiate with the US under the current conditions. We must solemnly tell the US a tariff-wielding barbarian who attempts to force countries to call and beg for mercy can never expect that call from China, Young Juril wrote in an op-ed appearing in the South China Morning Post. Yeah, and that because it's not China, that's not how China works. That's not how they operate. If the US is truly sincere about starting a dialogue with China, it should immediately rectify its wrong practices and adopt the right attitude of equality, respect, and mutual benefit, Young had wrote. Despite their unhappiness with Washington, not all countries are interested in linking up with China, especially those with a history of disputes with Beijing. We speak for ourselves, and Australia's position is that free and fair trade is a good thing, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese had told reporters. We engage with all countries, but we stand up for Australia's national interest and we stand on our own 2 feet. China has imposed a series of official and unofficial trade barriers against Australia in 2020 after the government angered Beijing by calling for an independent inquiry into the COVID-19 pandemic. India has also reportedly turned down a Chinese call for cooperation, and Russia, typically seen as China's closest geopolitical partner, has been left out of the Trump tariffs altogether. Taiwanese Foreign Minister Ling Chai-lang said on Wednesday that his government is preparing for talks on tariffs with the United States. The US imposed a 32% tariff on imports from Taiwan, a close trade and security partner. Taiwan's products, most of high-performing computer chips craved by the US and others, have long enjoyed trade surpluses with Washington. Yet, the southeastern nations such as Vietnam and Cambodia find themselves in a particular bind as they benefit when factories move to their countries from China due to rising costs. And they are being hit by punishing tariffs but have fewer buys outside the US. And they are already operating on razor-thin margins. That's not good when your only thing is only on the US there. That's really concerning for those countries, because these countries need America. They need that trade, and it's going to hurt. Like, the Asian stock markets have really suffered as a result of this. I mean, it's not just China, as it says here, Vietnam, Cambodia, all because it's not just the factories from China. It's obviously been factories from other nations as well that produce things as well. Trump is making AI Camoon look like an upstanding citizen. This is Jane Wallace there. Tariff wielding barbarian low. That's a new one. Yeah. China has started to dump American debt and dollars, and they are not the only ones here in Europe. There's a lot of countries doing the same. Yeah. The story, I think I said it yesterday, the story is that Japan was dumping its bonds, dumping the bonds on America, and apparently that also triggered the changes as well there. So Trump had previously denied attempting a pause, but the drama over his tariffs will continue as the administration prepares to engage in a country-by-country negotiations. Meanwhile, tariffs will be 10% for the countries where the larger ones were paused. It's not clear what further steps China will take, but the Foreign Ministry Ling said that China will not sit idly by and let the legitimate rights and interests of the Chinese people be deprived of, nor will we allow the international trade rules and multilateral trading system be undermined. Non-tariff options including bans on American movies, American law firms and other trade in services. Well, markets soared on Thursday, with Japan benchmark jumping to more than 9% as investors welcomed Trump's decision. Germany DAX initially gained more than 8%. It was up 7.5% at 21,141.53 a bit later, while the CAC 40 in Paris gained 7.2% to 7.360.23. Britain's FTSE 100 surged to 5.4% to 8,090 dot there. As you guys know, I'm not an economics expert, so I'm not an expert in markets and stock and shares. Yes, I do have stock and shares, but it's not like a huge amount. But feel free to educate me more on it if you were so inclined in the chat. However, if US futures edged lower and oil prices also declined, Chinese shares saw more moderate gains. Given yet another jump in the tariffs each side is imposing on each other's exports. The edge of the S&P 500 was down 0.4%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average edged 0.2% lower. So yeah, the story obviously is more about China and Europe coming together, and it makes sense. It makes sense there. This picture is a new Volvo vehicles parked near containers that wait for shipment at the Yaxi Port in Nagaran City in East China province there. Were they all supposed to go to America and they're not going now? Interesting stuff there. Like I said, guys, I've only got one chat open because my phone is my phone woken up now? Is my brand new phone done yet? No, it's still transferring stuff over. Yeah, because my old phone broke today. To anyone that does not know, this means the effect of the economy crashing in the US will be less than in the economies that get rid of it, and it will reduce the value of the investment in the US and GDP, says Zhao. It also says that the more we get rid of imports and exports to the US and of their debt and dollar reserves, the less it will have effect on our stock markets. It will always have an effect, but reduce that to 13%. The US represents of the world market. Yeah, if we take away the US's centerpiece on, I do agree with that. Obviously, if you reduce US on the markets itself, then yeah, it becomes less reliant. And obviously, I think it means China will obviously become the global powerhouse, with the EU will follow behind. But the EU still has the EU obviously are the third largest, but they still have a way to go, I would say, on that as well. They don't have enough spare dosh to buy shares, says Jane Wallace. Well, of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on it, guys. I may talk a bit more about it tomorrow morning. Depends what the papers say there, guys. This story dropped today. Why are Democrats stupid, guys? Like, you would think that Democrats have, at least some. But apparently 4 Muppets haven't. This is from NBC News. So, the House passes a bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. 4 Democrats join Republicans in supporting the measure, in which the Senate will need to pass before it heads to Trump's desk for his signature. Well, it's going to the Senate, so we know it's going to pass. Well, what is this about, Regan? Well, let me read a bit more into it, guys, before I give my thoughts. So the House passed a bill today that would require proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections in an effort to codify one of President Donald Trump's executive actions from his second term. Lawmakers approved the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, that's called the SAVE Act, needs 220 to 208 vote, with 4 Democrats joining every Republican present in support of the measure. Okay, they were still going to get it to pass. But still, why did the Democrats vote with it? These 4 morons. This legislation, sponsored by Republican Chip Roy of Texas, would amend the National Voter Registration Act so that states would be required to obtain proof of citizenship in person from people who are registered in to vote. It would also require states to establish a program to remove undocumented immigrants from existing voter rolls, and would allow American citizens to sue election officials that don't follow proof of citizenship requirements. Is this necessary? Is this really necessary? In order to preserve this republic, we must uphold what it means to be able to vote in a U.S. election, Roy said in a statement. I am grateful that my colleagues answered the call and passed the SAVE Act, as this serves a critical first step to ensure that we maintain election integrity throughout the country. Election officials, voting rights advocates, and Democrats have warned that the SAVE Act would disenfranchise eligible voters who don't have easy access to identification documents. Yeah, because guess what? It costs an arm and a leg to get a passport. I know a friend of mine in America who says she can't afford a passport. She wants a passport because she wants to one day travel to Europe. She says it's one of her goals. That she wants the dreams of traveling to Europe to visit it. And she says it's just too expensive, a US passport. It's absolutely insane. But just having ID costs money. It's bollocks. You have to pay for everything. You literally have to pay for everything in America. You really do get thrown in the deep end in America. You really do get fuck all in America. You really, really do. My Republican colleague crafted and passed one of the most damaging voter suppression bills in modern history. There's no doubt that women, military members, and people of color will be disproportionately impacted, Republican Joe Morale, the DNY, the ranking member of the House Administration Committee, said in a statement. The fight to stop this bill to protect Americans' sacred right to vote is not over. I'll do everything in my power to ensure every eligible American has access to the ballot box. You're not going to stop this. It's already going to the Senate. You're not going to stop this. Like it's gonna pass the Senate. Trump's gonna sign it, and that's it. Like, you're not gonna stop this. It is already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections, and the practice occurs rarely. Federal law requires that voters registering to vote swear under penalty of perjury, and that there are citizens and eligibility to vote. And registering to vote and casting a ballot leaves a paper trail that elected officials require by law to routinely review. Courts have blocked states from adding documentary proof of citizenship requirement for voters in federal races. Man, 33, good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And anybody else who's lurking in the chat that I haven't said hello to. I don't know why I've got tofu out of that conversation, Sistine Banker. I don't know either. Trump and his GOP allies have zeroed in on the threat of non-citizens voting in elections as part of their broader unfound claims of election fraud. Yeah, because they still have this. There's still this perception that they make that, like, people who are 180 years old are still voting in these elections. Apparently, they're saying that people's grandmas or granddads that are long dead are still voting, with no evidence to support it. Like, they're saying, look, there's this person at 321 years old that is still voting, and it's just like on a piece of paper. And it's just like really, like, is it like just on a piece of paper? Like, it's just such nonsense. Trump signed an executive order last month to require people to prove their citizenship when they register to vote. Democrats and voting rights groups have challenged the order of the court. The fate of the House bill is uncertain in the Senate, where Senator Mike Lee Utah unveiled a companion bill earlier this year. With a 53-47 majority, Senate Republicans would need Democrat support to overcome the 60-vote threshold to advance the bill to a final vote. Oh, okay, I was not aware of that. Final vote and ultimately Senator Trump sign a law. Lee's bill currently has 20 co-sponsors, all of whom are Republican. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So it's possible. But still, it's still near to next impossible for Americans anyway. Especially if you're a certain colour as well, because they do make it extremely hellish for Americans as it is. That it's not really. It is just a nightmare for Americans when it comes to voting. It really is. Like, they make you jump hoops to vote. They really do make you jump through hoops to vote. I mean, even like the fact that we have to bring ID to confirm who we are to vote now in the UK. Well, specifically here in England, it's just stupid, really. Like, for me, because there's no voter fraud, but they'll make up voter fraud in some way, shape, or form. Now, like I said, I showed the clips earlier, obviously, of the possible insider trading, and we saw that where is it here? We saw it obviously here. So for those who weren't here, I'm just going to play it quickly for you guys because it's a 6 seconds clip here. If you listen to Donald Trump very carefully in the 6-second clip.
And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made 900 million. That's not bad.
Yeah, so definitely no insider trading there, guys. As I said, I played it earlier for those who were already here, but wanted those who have just come in and haven't seen it to catch on to that. But yeah, Democratic senators called for a probe into a possible insider trading over Trump tariff reversal. As we said, also saw AOC obviously saying that she wants an inquiry into this as well. Is this Trump administration going to call into to go take action? No. Is the DOJ going to take any action? Probably not. Are Republicans going to take action? No. So, you know what? Do you remember a couple of hours before he did the U-turn? Trump tweeted on Truth Social. Now's a good time to buy stocks. Market manipulation, guys. It's what it is. So 2 Democratic senators are demanding answers from the White House over serious concerns that President Donald Trump rolls back on his tariff, and his social media posts early on Wednesday may have been part of an insider trading among White House allies. Senators Adam Schiff of California and Ruben Gallo sent letters to Trump's chief of staff, Susie Willis, and Trade Representative Jamie Greer on Thursday, asking for an investigation into political conflicts of interest over the actions that took place Wednesday. I imagine that they will look at that and put that possibly in the bin. Hours before Trump announced he was rolling back the tariffs to 10% on all countries except China, which sent the stock market soaring. He posted on Truth Social, "Be cool, everything is going to work out. The US will be bigger and better than ever before. This is a great time to buy." That's what he said. It's a great time to buy, guys. That's what he said. This sequence of events raised grave legal and ethnic concerns. The president, his family, and his advisors are uniquely positioned to be privy to take advantage of the non-public information to inform their investment decisions, senators said in their letter. Stocks were down Wednesday morning before Trump's Truth Social post immediately caused the markets to spike. Nasdaq soared at 12.1% at close, the index's largest day gain since 2021, while the Dow jumped 7.8%, its biggest one-day increase in 5 years. The White House has not immediately commented. Senators asked the Office of Government Ethics to probe into whether any White House or executive branch officials, including special government employees, were informed of the announcement in advance and what financial transactions were made by officials with knowledge of non-public information. And yes, as Dave McGuinness has said in his video and what he's mentioned before, he says, then this is what I said. Who wins? Well, it's obviously those who are in the know, I would say. Because we just saw right at the start of the show, guys, like the likes of Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Apple, like all of them suffered. All of them suffered over this market manipulation. But some have made better off, being on the inside. So not everyone has benefited. The senators also said they wanted answers to several questions about Wednesday's chain of events, including whether Trump's family members were informed of the deliberations prior to Trump's Truth Social post announced the tariff changes, and if there are any records of communication with executive branch officials, family members, or special government employees. Well, yeah, of course they will want to know that. Excuse me. Treasury Secretary Scott Bennett and White House Press Secretary... Oh, this fucking woman. Sorry, I have to say that because she's such a brat. Told reporters on Wednesday that the president's decision was part of his plan and that 75 countries had called the negotiation with the president. They did not provide further details. We covered that yesterday. Hours later, however, Trump told reporters that he made the decision Wednesday morning. I think we could probably come together this morning, fairly early this morning. Just wrote it up. We didn't have the access to lawyers, or it was just brought up. We wrote it from our hearts, he said. Yeah, it just came from the heart, guys. Just came from the heart. Good night, Mad Monk. Thanks for popping in. Excuse me. Appreciate your support as always, and what you do for other live streams as well, my friend. Some other Democratic senators at the Capitol on Thursday also questioned the timing of the announcement and the rise in stocks. Look, this shouldn't be an investigation by Democrats or Republicans. It should be an independent investigation. And if the president and his cabinet and his family have nothing to hide, then they should want the investigation just like that. Let's just clear up no smoke here, Senator Elizabeth Warren had told reporters. Over and over again, we see evidence of self-dealing and an effort to improve your bottom line's net worth with the policies of this administration. Senator Dick Durbin said, I think it deserves closer scrutiny. Again, I don't expect it to happen. Like I said, don't expect it to happen. Some Republicans dismissed the concerns. Senator John Crowland of Texas called the assertion of inside trading ridiculous and said Democrats were just looking to take a dig at Trump. Yeah, they were definitely looking to take a dig at Trump. Definitely was not market manipulation, guys. No market manipulation, yeah?
And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad.
Yeah, definitely no market manipulation there, guys. There was no market manipulation, yeah? There was no market manipulation. It's pretty obvious that when the stock market is in a dip, that maybe you have some money. You might consider investing and make some money when it picks back up again. I think the idea of inside trading is ridiculous, Cohen told reporters. Yeah, guys, it's definitely ridiculous. Definitely ridiculous, because I did not show you a clip showing that people had benefited from the stock markets. Definitely, I did not just show you a clip literally just 5 seconds ago. someone loses. Whenever somebody gains, someone somewhere loses. There's always somebody out there who suffers as a result of this. There will be people who are suffering today because of this market manipulation. And I am calling it market manipulation because that is exactly what it is. Businesses, people have suffered because of this market manipulation. And the thing that really infuriates me, guys, right? There will not be any accountability. Like, I do not see accountability here. As much as this pains me to tell you, I cannot see where there's going to be accountability here. Like, Donald Trump, like, if he was to find himself kicked out of the office, right? Let's just say hypothetically, right? He lost the next presidential election if it happens or whatnot, right? I can see the man pardoning himself from all everything that's been put on this man. I can see him pardoning himself. I can see the man pardoning pretty much his entire cabinet of everything that they're doing. Like, I can generally see them ripping the fuck out of the American system, screwing with stock markets, screwing with all sorts, and then Trump's just pardoning himself and his buddies. Like, that's how insane this is. Because they have that stupid pardon system where a president can just pardon someone just like that. Could you imagine if Andrew Tate got a pardon from Trump? Like, it boggles my mind that they have such a system. I hate it so much. Buy low, win big. We have seen it here in the UK with Liz and the letters shorting the markets. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Like, you know what? It's stupid. It's stupid. But part of me thought, like I was saying, like, I was talking to one or two family members, right? Because some of them have got stocks and shares and whatnot. You know, when it was happening, it was just like I was asking, should I sell? Should I do something? Like, should I sell? Should I sell? Because right now I'm not very concerned about some of my stock and shares. And everyone said no, just sit tight and just wait and see. Because the thing is, we don't know what's really going on unless you're in on it. And they were in on it. They know they were in on it. Well, I will say the good news is there are people who are looking to fight back, guys. There are some people who are looking to fight back. Why is this video screwed up? Hold on a second. Goddamn nostrils are playing up with me. The Irish are fighting back, guys. They are preparing to fight back. Ireland is going to respond to Trump's tariffs. Let's hear how they respond for the greatest minds from Ireland, the Foil Arms and Hogs YouTube channel. Let's see how they respond to the Trump tariffs, guys.
Bloody Yanks and their tariffs. We need a response. We need to show them that Ireland is not to be messed with.
No, it's America, so we're going to have to be careful, guys.
Putting a fiver on the feckin' butter, Declan. Let's fight and talk.
We need to take action. From now on, any American tourist landing on these shores who's getting into a taxi, we'll overcharge them and take them on a much longer route.
Don't we already do that?
All right, well in that case, from now on, only the worst Guinness will be sent over to them.
Think we already do that as well?
Yeah, we do, don't we? We need to do something, lads.
Yes. Why do we take all American beer off the shelves?
Is it even on the shelves?
Well, I mean, you couldn't even pay me to drink the stuff.
It's basically sparkling water.
And an outright ban on American chocolate.
Oh, well, it's horrible anyway.
It's very chalky.
Isn't it? Sticks to the teeth.
It's sickly sweet.
They just don't have the dairy herd.
We're going to put a ban on Netflix, Disney and Paramount.
Yes!
From now on, we rely only on homegrown Irish programming.
Oh, yeah, well...
To an extent. I mean, not obviously exclusively.
The BBC
we go to the UK for bits and France. We just maybe Canada. How about we send over Conor McGregor on diplomatic missions?
How's that going to help?
Well, it's not going to help, but at least he'll be their problem for a while, huh?
Ah, yes.
We're going to take legal action against the Boston Celtics for cultural appropriation.
Yes!
What about Notre Dame?
Them too.
And Lucky Charms.
A lot of them.
Yes.
And finally, pull them out.
What?
No.
Ah, no.
I know.
Come on now, Minister.
Pull them out now.
They're too far gone now.
It's not the time, Minister, with respect. They're different people now.
They're different. Come on now.
River dance. It's coming home. You don't with the butter.
Doomda. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm so glad I have some Irish blood running through my veins. It is part Irish, but damn, oh damn, do I love that. Love the foil and arms of the hogs, guys. Do check out their YouTube channel. They have over 1 million subscribers. They do wonderful work. Do check out whenever they do their tours as well, guys. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. This is a great video. Standing up for the Irish against the Trump tariffs. Absolutely brilliant. Ah, needed that, needed that, needed that. So, guys, if you guys want, just wanted to say thank you guys all for being here. Don't you worry, we've still got more content to come. I just want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, share across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Do check out the Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content. Apologies, I've not done the recordings, as you can tell. Not really very well. Don't know when I'm going to recover, but I am taking everything that I need to take. I may even go to the doctors again and say to them, can you do a third examination? Because clearly the first 2 times, nothing's come up. So I may do that as well. So I do apologise, but I haven't been 100%. But I do these live streams because I enjoy doing them. I love talking about this stuff. And sometimes, yeah, I know you guys love me when I do sometimes a rant or two as well. So just a reminder, if you want to financially support me in the work that I do, and considering what happened today, I would be really appreciate any super chats or gifted memberships would really, really help me, guys. So thank you so much if you do any of them. If you can't, don't worry about it. There's always other ways you can support me as well. But thank you to anyone who is a YouTube member who has super chatted or gifted memberships. It is greatly appreciated, guys. I really do appreciate everyone being here. Right, sucking up over. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. No, I really do appreciate everyone being here in all seriousness. Let's a story here from the New York Times. Do you guys remember what Donald Trump said? He would bring egg prices down. He said he would bring them down, right? Surely the president would not lie to you, would he? Egg prices continue to rise in March. Oh dear, oh dear. It's not going well for the president. Egg prices have reached record highs as bird flu outbreaks have hit poultry farms, and forced producers to cull tens of millions of hens. So not only has egg prices gone up, but hens have been killed, have been put down. This is an abomination. He promised those egg prices would go down. He promised, and he failed. He failed. Dear, oh dear. Alistair Kidd, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you. He's given 5 memberships to Ginger Lefty, Joe Lefty, Ginger Lefty, Mad Monk 33, and 1 Angry Pagan, Doc Davis, and Craig Finley. Finally, thank you guys. Thank you, Alistair, for those gifted memberships, and welcome new members. Do have fun with the emojis. And Steve McMahon has kindly given 10 New Zealand dollars as well. Thank you guys so much thank you so much for the 10 New Zealand dollars, my friend. Appreciate your generosity, my friend. I don't know why, but I can't click the heart. Why can't I click the heart on it? It won't let me click the heart on this because I normally use my phone, and my phone, I had to get a new phone, guys. If anyone's wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to press the heart and it's not working. I'm sorry, Steve, it won't click the heart button on here. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have to go. I can't not click the heart. There we go. I'll have to do it that way. There. So sorry about that, guys. I'm just rumbling there. Right, back to it. No, I can't go back to it. Steve, as the kids gifted another 5 gifted memberships to Emma Z. Has been a gifted membership. Nico has been gifted 1. Critical Thinking Cap has also been gifted 1. Super Tiny 808 and Simon Says 55 have all been gifted memberships there. Thank you so much, Alistair, for another 5 gifted memberships. That's very kind of you, my friend. Yeah, I will tell you guys tomorrow morning my story of what happened to my phone. Yeah, it was a really, really, really shit day for me. But I'll tell you guys tomorrow morning. But no, I appreciate those support, guys. That's very, very generous. Thank you, Alistair Kier, and thank you, Steve McMahon, for those Really, really does help. So let's read into all this, guys. The Karelina telling millions of hens egg prices still going up when they said they were going to go down. For weeks, President Donald Trump has repeatedly boasted that his administration had managed to bring egg prices down. But new data on Thursday showed that egg prices at the grocery store continued to climb in March. Egg prices rose 5.9% over the month, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They climbed at a slower rate, though, after rising 10.4% in February and 15.2% in January. Compared with a year earlier, egg prices are up 60.4%. Egg prices have reached record highs in recent months as bird flu outbreaks have hit poultry farms and forced producers to cull tens of millions of hens. But Mr. Trump, who had vowed to bring down grocery prices while on the campaign trail, has continued to claim victory on egg prices. This month, Mr. Trump said egg prices had dropped 59%. And on Monday, he said the egg prices were down 79%. Who do you believe? The President of the United States or do you believe the Bureau of Labor Statistics? I'll let you guys decide on that one. Consumers might not be feeling relief because the President is not referring to retail egg prices. He's instead pointing to the wholesale price of eggs, which has fallen by roughly half since the beginning of the second term. So it's one of those technicality ones, guys. Always the technicality with him. Always with the goddamn technicality. Well, I did say egg prices were going down, but I didn't say the egg prices on your shelf. What I meant was the wholesale of egg prices. You see, he says egg prices will go down, but he's not specific. You know, they don't always be specific with you. They say, technically, I was telling the truth, but I wasn't saying specifically the normal eggs that you buy on your shelf. Consumers might want to be feeling relief because the President is not referring... Yeah, I said that already, sorry. Wholesale egg prices dropped from a national average of $6.55 a dozen on January 24th to $3.26 on April the 4th, according to the data from the Agriculture Department. Wholesale egg prices also down from a peak of more than $8 a dozen at the end of February. But the average retail price for a dozen large eggs has reached $6.23 in March. That's up from $5.90 the month before, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics data. It could take several weeks for the decrease in wholesale prices to pass through to the retail prices, said David Ksenia, a food economist at Michigan State University. All indications said there are some relief coming for consumers, he said. Even then, there are lots of other factors that determine the price of eggs. Wholesale eggs have come down significantly as poultry farms report fewer bird flu outbreaks. Supply has increased and consumers' demand has weakened, economics said. But it is difficult to know exactly how much retail egg prices could come down now. New avian flu outbreaks could continue to put pressure on egg prices. Even though a drop of wholesale egg prices typically translate to lower prices at a grocery store, retailers do not necessarily have to pass on all the savings to consumers. They don't have to lower it all the way to reflect how much the price really fell on the wholesale market, said Christopher B. Barrett, an agricultural economics at Cornell University. In response to the high egg prices, the Trump administration said late last month they had expanded biosecurity assessments to prevent further outbreaks and was working on reducing regulatory barriers to boost supply. Anna Kelly, a White House spokesperson, said in a statement that the administration's work to combat bird flu had paid off and that officials were carrying out their mandate to make America wealthy again. Yeah, but they've still gone up though. Egg prices have still gone up on the average retail price. So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to continue to go up, but I mean, this is the New York Times. You know, they're not really gonna BS, to be fair, on this. But yeah, I thought it was just important to highlight, guys, the BS that comes out of the BS when it comes to, because the egg prices is the one thing that he kept going on about during the election campaign. So I thought I'd keep you guys aware of the prices of eggs. Now, there's one good news story that's not technically America, but it's also a Russian one as well, and I think it's and you got you have to give credit where credit is due when they've done something good, and in this case, this is good news. So the US and Russia have swapped prisoners in the deal that released Ksenia Karelina. Now, I covered this story a while ago on the channel. I think I covered it on the Snowflake Corner live stream. in which I generally didn't think that she would find her way out. But whatever you might think of this Trump administration, the fact that they were able to get a swap deal to get her released and to bring her back to America is good news. And gotta give credit where credit is due. They've negotiated with Russia. Yes, we know they're cozying up to Russia. I know that in the chat. You don't need to tell me that. Fully aware of that. But the fact that they got her out is a very good thing, because, quite frankly, she was going to be in there for a very, very long time, or may not even get out at all. So let's read a bit more into this. So the Russian-American woman, Ksenia Karelina, who was serving a 12-year prison sentence for treason in Russia, was released. Oh my God, my reflux. Excuse me. Was released as part of a prison exchange that saw her swap for an accused smuggler held in the US. So the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on X early on Thursday that Karelina, an amateur ballet dancer who worked as a receptionist and had graduated from an Alsatian school, had been released and was on her way to the United States. The American Karelina is on a plane back to home to the United States. She was wrongfully detained by Russia for over a year, and President Trump secured her release, Rubio said on X. He added that the president would continue to work for the release of all Americans. Karelina was exchanged for Arthur Petrov, a dual Russian-German citizen who was being held in the US on charges of criminal offences relating to exporting control violations, smuggling, wire fraud and money laundering. Russia State's news agency reported Thursday, quoting the FSB, the Russian security agency. 2 US officials familiar with the matter confirmed to CNN that Karelina was swapped for Petrov. The prisoner swap took place in Abu Dhabi on Thursday and was conducted by CIA Director John Ratcliffe, the officials said. One official said that while talks about the prisoner swap were going on for some time, the discussions really took shape last week when one of the then Russian president's closest allies, Kirill Dmitriev, visited Washington. Interesting. Yeah, I think I remember that. One of them did. Yeah, I remember actually, visited Washington there. A Russian source close to the prison exchange confirmed at CNN that Dmitriev played an important role in exchanging discussions. Another source with knowledge of the situation said that Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff was also involved in negotiations. News exchange came as Russian and US officials were meeting in Istanbul, Turkey, to discuss embassy operations. Diplomats from the two countries have met on several occasions since Trump took office in January, as the US president pushed for the war effort in Ukraine to end. Yeah, because there've been much discussions between the two countries, as we know. And Ukraine not allowed to have a say in it. It's just fucking nonsense, in my opinion. Efforts to secure a ceasefire appeared to have stalled in recent weeks after Russia refused to sign up to a proposed representative by the US and backed by Ukraine. The United Arab Emirates Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed the exchange happened in Abu Dhabi on Thursday. The ministry said in a statement that the fact that Russia and the US chose Abu Dhabi as the location of the swap reflected the close relationship between them and the UAE. No, it's pretty much neutral ground, like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. They are neutral grounds in most of these negotiations, so it makes sense, for them to have them there. The ministry said it was hoping that these efforts will contribute to supporting efforts to reduce tensions and promote dialogue and understanding, thus achieving security and stability at the regional and international levels. So this was today, this picture, apparently. Yeah, there she is. The UAE ambassador to the US, posing with the photo with her at the Al Bateen airport in Abu Dhabi today. There. So, yeah, you can see there the Russian plane in the background there. Petrov was charged for criminal offences relating to export control violations, smuggling, wire fraud and money laundering, according to the US Justice Department. He was arrested in August 2023 in Cyprus at the request of the US and was extradited in the US in August 2024. He was 33 at the time. According to the Justice Department, Petrov was allegedly smuggling US-made microelectronics to Russia, where they were used to manufacture weapons and other equipment to the Russian military. The US put export controls on many parts that could be used to make weapons after Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, in an effort to cut Russia off from Western technology. Karelina's fiancé, Chris Van Hayden, said he was overjoyed to hear that she was on her way to the US, calling her the love of my life. She has endured a nightmare for 15 months, and I cannot wait to hold her dog Boots and also eagerly waiting her return, he said. Thanks for popping in, Context. Appreciate you being here. Van Hedren went on to thank Trump, his special envoys Witkoff and Adam Bowyer, The Ultimate Fighting Championship Chief Executive Dana White, Film Director Peter Borgen, as well as non-profit organisation Global Research and Wasserman's Foundation Executive Director Rita Waldman. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more really to add to this story. Really, pretty much is saying that like it's a positive story. I know people like I hate Trump. And I don't like what this administration are doing and all that kind of stuff. But it's good news. You know, it's good news that she's out of there. And the Trump administration, credit where credit's due, they negotiated with Russia and they got her out. So, and yes, it is a good PR story as well that Trump is going to milk. Of course, he's going to milk it because it's good publicity for him. And any publicity that makes him look good, he's going to try and take it on. And that's exactly what this is. So, in that regard. But, you know, just from her perspective, I'm happy that she's got out of this as well. So, one last story I've got for you guys here from The Guardian. We've talked about this already. I've said this before. If you support Palestine in any way, shape, or form in America, and you're not a US citizen, you're at risk. I've said this, and we know. I think I've even said this, you know, like, get out. Like, because you will not be protected. America will not protect you. US government has revoked more than 600 student visas, data shows. Some cases were related to activism and participation in protests against Gaza war. Others were for minor crimes. Your visa don't mean shit in America now. It doesn't mean shit. And I'm gonna. And you want to know why? I'll tell you what. I won't tell you why. I will show you instead. Let me find the clip because I actually have it here. Where is the clip? Because Marco Rubio said it in a clip that he wants these people. There we go. 1 second, guys, because I want to show you guys this. This was 2 hours ago in their cabinet meeting.
And one last point I want to make, Mr. President, again, it's under your leadership, it's actually under your executive order. If you come to this country as a student, we expect you to go to class and study and get a degree. If you come here to like vandalize a library, take over a campus and do all kinds of crazy things, you know, we're going to get rid of these people and we're going to continue to do it. So when we identify lunatics like these, we take away their student visa. No one's entitled to a student visa. The press covers student visas like there's some sort of birthright. No, a student visa is like me inviting you into my home. If you come into my home and put all kinds of crap on my couch, I'm going to kick you out of my house. And so, you know, that's what we're doing with our country, thanks to the president. And last but not, and one last point.
Like I said, your visa does not mean shit. Doesn't mean shit. So, you're not safe. You're not safe. If you support Palestine and you're in America and you don't have citizenship, you are not safe. But even if you have citizenship, you know, you could still be targeted in some way, shape, or form by this Trump administration. Like, you're automatically a supporter of Hamas if you support them, if you support Palestine in any way, shape, or form. I know it's disgusting. I know it's wrong, and it is. It is disgusting. But you do not have freedom of speech in America. Although you do, but it is going to cost you though. So more than 600 international students and recent graduates in the US have had their visas revoked or their legal status changed by the State Department, according to data aggregated from around the country. The data collected by Insider Higher Ed shows that as of Thursday, more than 100 colleges and universities have identified more than 600 cases of students whose immigration status were changed by the Trump administration. These institutions said that their students had lost their F1 or J1 student visas. Some of the cases were related to their activism and participation in the student-led process against the war in Gaza, and others were for minor crimes. Insider Higher Ed said that the majority of college officials said they're unsure why the foreign-born students have had their visas revoked or have yet to receive formal notification of the changes. Most have still not received any communication from immigration authorities. The compiled data was set based on public reports and direct correspondence Insider Higher Ed said. The database, first published on April the 8th, will be consistently updated at least twice a day. Late last month, it was reported that the State Department had revoked 300 or more student visas in the 3 weeks that it is Catch and Revoke program was in operation. The initiative, newly launched by the State Department, which says it is at least partly powered by artificial intelligence. Oh, for God's sake. 1 second. Great. Artificial intelligence scrapes social media to find foreign nationals who appear to support Hamas or other designated terror groups to cancel their visas, according to a reporting from Axios. No. I seriously cannot stress this enough. If you want to, if you are in America and you don't have, you're not a citizen, seriously, just, you might as well, if you're going to stick by this and continue to support Palestine, you're going to find yourself kicked out one way or another. I understand the cause, and I appreciate their cause. But as Scott Stug, Dog has pointed out in the chat there, some of them could possibly end up being sent to El Salvador. It's not impossible. These are students, so it's highly unlikely, but it is possible. It is possible. It would have to be based on their tattoos as well. There are still certain guidelines on them being shifted there. Bloody hell. To be fair, my throat wasn't as bad as it was yesterday. I do apologise for being slower than I usually do. Now I Stephen Banker. Just a reminder, guys, I will be back tomorrow morning at 8 AM as well. But yeah, it's you really should get out. I really can't stress that enough. You are not safe. You are not safe. Your visa does not protect you in America anymore. The Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed the scale of the March crackdown and referred to student activists as lunatics. He told reporters during a visit to Guyana in South America, when asked about the visa terminations, he said maybe more than 300 at this point have lost their visas. We do it every day, every time I find one of these lunatics. It was increasingly clear that the abrupt visa cancellations are not limited to students who engage in pro-Palestinian activism. Students with minor non-criminal infractions such as speeding tickets were also targeted. What? Speeding tickets? What the fuck? What speeding tickets? You gotta be kidding me. Speeding tickets. Speeding tickets. Really? Oh my days. That's just outrageous. The Guardian previously reported an online data sheet created and updated by affiliated students that shows students from 50 universities reported their visas were cancelled around the 4th of April, with some tracing the cause to police citations or non-criminal offences. This is so silly. This is literally a case of you make one tiny mistake and your visa's gone just like that. The tiniest of mistake, guys. Yeah? Because guess what? We're human beings. Human beings make mistakes. But if you make one tiny mistake over there, you're gone. Just like that. Students at the University of Florida have planned a campus protest in support of Felipe Zabarita, 27, Colombian student deported by the Trump administration following his arrest for alleged traffic violations. His family said he was undergoing a physical and emotional recovery process in his home country after police arrested him on March 28th for offences that included having an expired tag and suspended driving license, before turning him over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE). The Florida Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost accused the authorities of kidnapping Velasquez, who held an F1 student visa. Felipe Zabarita is just the latest victim of Trump's disgusting campaign against immigrants, Frost said in a statement. The two other cases received widespread attention were those of Mohammed Kali, a recent Columbia University graduate who led pro-Palestinian demonstrations on campus last year, And Ramaniska Oltosk, a Turkish student at Tufts University who was arrested in apparent retaliation for an op-ed she wrote which was critical of Israel. Both are in ICE detention, fighting their deportations on the grounds that their actions constitute free speech under the First Amendment. Yeah, your free speech does not mean jack shit to them in this situation, because they don't care about your free speech in America. They honestly don't. They honestly don't. Like, if you chat shit about Israel, if you criticize Israel, if you show any solidarity towards Gaza, towards those people, the Palestinians, there, you will have it taken away from you. It's not right in any way, shape, or form, guys. It's not right in any way, shape, or form. But I've kicked and screamed so many times on Rumble about this, about what's happening there. And it hurts me. It hurts me when I think about what's happening there. And we know that, they probably have about a week, maybe more, of before they completely run out of everything. Because remember, they're not getting any aid. And no one's doing anything about it. Like, everyone's, like, you have the French, you have the British, you have some European nations calling for aid to be allowed in, but they won't criticise Gaza. They won't criticise Israel. They won't call out Israel for what they're doing. But they keep saying we've got to turn on humanitarian aid. Who's stopping the aid? Macron won't fucking say anything. Keir Starmer won't fucking say anything. We know where Trump's position is. Doc Davis, good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. There is no free speech in the US, and it saddens me to say they will get deported. And they're not safe. Like, I'm not safe. I was not just me, but other people. Jesus. Other people were saying, we warned people when Trump got elected to get out. Like, you're not safe. I said, not just me, but other people were saying, they're not safe there, guys. They're not. You're not safe. We warned people. So you chose to stay. That's the risk. That is the risk. Right. I've got one last video for you guys before I go and recover my voice for tomorrow. Hopefully my phone will be fixed by then. I'll explain the full story tomorrow morning, and we'll go through the news in the UK that's happening over the next couple of days tomorrow morning. So do join me at 8 AM for that. But just before we go, I've got one last video for you guys. Let me make sure. Well, actually, technically, I've got two videos. And luckily, I don't have monetization on, so I don't earn money for live streams. But I know you guys are going to get a laugh out of these. Some of you guys may have seen these videos already, but I'm going to show you the one that people who aren't aware of it. Excuse me. Jesus, I was supposed to mute myself. I failed to do that. Hashtag fail Regan. So this was the first one that China introduced. You guys remember this one? So China, the Chinese are trolling America with memes on America's re-industrialization. The music. Make America great again! American manufacturing's coming back, baby! And it got better, guys. They brought out another one today, guys. Stop it, Regan. Stop coughing. You'll like this one as well. They put this one out today. You can see it there. Make America strong again. Oh, dear. I'll send him the Daily Blase. Hopefully he'll get them. He'll play them tomorrow for you guys. There. All right, but I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's come along. Thank you guys all for your comments. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for those 10 gifted memberships. Very kind of you. Thank you, Steve McMahon, for your super chat as well. Appreciate your support, guys. But yes, I will send them a Daily Blase. Just a reminder, there's a lot of live streams happening tomorrow, guys. So I just want to quickly run it down the card for you guys tomorrow. Because there's a lot of great YouTubers who are doing new live streams tomorrow. So let me run it down for you. I will be live tomorrow at 8 a.m. with Good Morning with me. So do join me back tomorrow at 8 a.m. UK time. Then at 9 a.m. there will be Graham Hughes with the Morning Brew on Politics Social. Join him for roughly about an hour. At 10:30 there will be David McGuinness with the paper review on youtube.com/2Davies. So do check out the paper review there. Then at 1 p.m. there will be the agenda with Phil Morehouse and Graham Hughes recovering the news of the chaos of what's been happening over the week. Then at 5 p.m. getting there will be Friday Frolics with Daily Blase on his YouTube channel. A great laugh you will get out of that, so do join him for that. And then at 8:30 you will have Max Robespierre will be back with his will be having a live stream there. And then later on in the evening, if you fancy staying up even later, Graham Hughes will have another Politics Social live stream there if you want to join that. So there's lots of live streams taking place. There'll be no Friday evening live stream for me because I'm going to be out. So I won't even be there for Max's live stream, unfortunately, because I'm going to be out that evening. But plenty of YouTubers, great YouTubers taking place tomorrow. So come on, Regan, get it together. Giving all the dates down for you guys. So hope you guys find all those YouTubers interesting and fascinating. But thank you guys all for coming along once again. Thank you all for your comments. Pingu wants to say thank you very much, and he appreciates everyone's support. Oh dear, Regan, stop coughing, man. I'm trying to lose it today. I'm losing it today. But yeah, they want to say thank you guys so much. Ollie's grateful. Ollie says thank you. We appreciate it. Yes, I will explain the phone problems. Take care of that voice. I will do. Yes, do join me tomorrow morning. I'll explain what happened to the phone tomorrow morning, guys. But just before I go, one last thing to say. If you haven't already, hit that like button, share across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Do check out Patreon and Rumble for exclusive content on those platforms as well. Again, if you want to financially support me, you can join the YouTube membership for as little as 99p. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.